obviously, you've seen, you've heard people tend to talk negatively about Appalachia, about West Virginia, about Kentucky. What are the misconceptions that people are missing? What's like what are those things that you hear about your area that but that's just not fucking true, man. Stop
Well,
saying that.
surprise, shorty, I have all my teeth.
Oh
I'm sorry.
man, there you go. That was a classic one. I like that.
Okay. We do have our teeth. Like, you know? I don't I feel like it's just kind of like everything, like people here might have their idea about like what it's like in Chicago or whatever, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
only you know what that's actually like because you're there. And I feel like we have to be more open to having conversations and sharing our lived experiences with each other in order for like those stereotypes to kind of go away. And we have to be able and open with, sharing where we're from and not shutting ourselves off to the rest of the world.
Is that what made you start doing content?
Um, well, I started sharing content around 2020-ish, I want to say, and it was mostly sewing. Like I sewed on there. And
Okay.
then people would say stuff about my accent, ask me where I was from, and then that kind of snowballed into me sharing more of my life and things like that on there. So I had a lot of people would say really mean things to me in the comments, and I just was like, that's not true. And I would kind of dispel a lot of myths that they have, or, really, like you said, harmful stereotypes that people hold towards Appalachians. We do have our problems. Like there's problems all across the country, and there's problems that exist in Appalachia that are really unique to us, but a lot of it goes back to the way this area was structured during colonization and after during the Industrial Revolution. So all of those things, like I said, they create a cycle of what we're dealing with today. So I don't really
Now,
think there's any one thing that is necessarily something to dispel. You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Gotcha. It's just a bunch of different misconceptions, a bunch of different little white misunderstandings about the area. Like you said, it's kind of akin to the same thing that I talk about when it comes to Chicago, and the things that people think that go on in Chicago that really don't happen the way they say they do. Same thing
Yeah.
that people hear, and I get it, right? People hear the accent, and people hear that you're from the area, or they hear, especially if when it comes to people who talk about politics a lot like I do and like people like I know do, when they start hearing things like Kentucky and West Virginia, they start thinking, well, you guys are a bunch of backwards hicks that always vote against your own best interest. Which leads me to my next question, which is you do some political content, only a little bit. So how is that perceived? How is that received in your area? Because you are more
Oh,
left leaning, I would imagine, than most of the area is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I I'm more outspoken than a lot of
Yeah.
people. I feel like there are a lot of
No,
people
not
who
you, Danielle. You no, you're not outspoken, young lady.
I feel like a
Sorry,
lot
go
of
ahead.
people have a lot of the same opinions about the world and the way we're supposed to care for each other and like take care of our community and our land and things like that. But that's not always the message that people not from here see. I'm
Mm,
not an anomaly in a sense that, oh, she thinks so out there, off the wall, out there, different than everybody around her. If I sit down and have a conversation with somebody I know voted for Donald Trump, I'm probably going to agree with them on the overall, they're going to agree with me about a lot of things. And when you live in a really rural area, you can't turn your back on each other because when I'm flooded in and I need my neighbor to help me, I'm not asking them like, their opinions on things. If I see somebody in need, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to do
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
I've been taught to do and help and do the best. And I feel like that behaving in that way makes it a lot harder for them to vilify me when I am very outspoken about the politics that we see taking place today. They can't paint me as some evil city slicker liberal from Chicago because they know I'm from here and everything that I do is based